Hey everyone, it's James. It's about almost 4:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. It is Friday, May 25th, and this is not investment advice. So, one thing I've talked about, in my prior videos, I just feel like I kind of have to say this, is that this is going to be our support line, right? And this is like a Dumbo line of support. And what I mean by that is not like it's demeaning in any way, but what it means is that there's a lot of people looking at this line. So if this line breaks, it could cause panic initially, but it could also be a point of manipulation as well, meaning a crack through to create that panic, take advantage, and then quickly reverse the market, creating better positioning, okay? So what we see here is that we are making our way towards that line. The question is, does it hold up? And does it provide us further support, right? If it does, we still have a series of higher lows, right? So everything looks good in that aspect, all right? Forget the fact that we have these lower highs right here. It looks like we're starting to change the trend here and kind of build a base. So as long as we can hold the 6,900 level, that'll be good for Bitcoin. If we start to break below that level and we stay below that level, then we are then going to retest the bottom on Bitfinex, which is 64.25, and then below that is 6,000, and then below that is Fantasyland right now at this moment in time. So if we start to break down those two barriers, then obviously I'll reassess, change the chart accordingly, and so forth. But as of now, this is the support zone, okay? This is going to be our downtrend line that's applying a lot of pressure. But what this shows is it's not just pressure. It's not just saying like, oh, hey, price can't break above it, blah, 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 it broke above, oh, look at that. What it's showing is that sellers are in control of this market, and the sellers are just completely dominating this market, and we're trying to find buyers, but nobody wants to buy, right? So I talked about club consolidation. We broke down below. So since that broke down, this is the next club right here. If this club can hold along with the trend line, then we're fine. But guess what? If there's nobody there, then the last club we have is a very, very small club of people. And, and that's it. That's it. Beyond that, then we move significantly down. If we kind of zoom back out, then we're getting like deeper into like the mid-5 range, and then obviously much lower than that. But like I said, that's kind of fantasy land. Like there's some serious barriers that have to be broken before those numbers are even looked at. So the point is that we're moving downward, right? Sellers are in control. Can we find some buyers here? If we do, that'll provide us enough, at least for a bounce. I do not know if it's going to provide us enough energy to actually take out this 9,990 high. If we do not take out this high, and instead what we do is a series of humps, which I talked about in my prior video as well, then this one will realistically be smaller, and what that's going to move Bitcoin to is a point of indecision. And what I mean by that is, I'll draw it again. Basically you have your access, like your horizontal line right here, okay? The closer prices to this, meaning indecision. Above, obviously buyers are in control. Below, sellers are in control. So if we do move to this tiny little space into here, okay, and we start to build this base, it's not necessarily a bad sign, but what it shows is that price is going to build energy for the next move. And if we start to do that, then the next move out of this base formation that is going to occur potentially would lead to an explosive move, either up or down, due to the consolidation, okay? So, and that's basically what we would be doing, is moving from an erratic market, okay, kind of smoothing out, and then building more of a horizontal point, which would be basically like a larger coil, since we're looking at the 4-hour chart, okay? And one thing I did not touch on was that this line right here means, since the green line is at a very subtle slope, meaning a small increase right here, then it basically is telling you that this market is going to take longer to rise, okay? So I know there's a lot of people, and you got like, I don't even know. I saw some headline that like John McAfee said 15,000 by next month or something. That's probably just clickbait title, but the ridiculous crap out there is all over the internet. If you want to find it, you can find all the wild speculated, prices. I even saw as we started falling down that Bitcoin to 2,000 or 2,500 or some crap like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes both ways. So don't get me wrong, but what this means, since it's a subtle increase, is that it's going to take longer for price to make this move. And that's going to beat out a lot of people, and it's going to elongate the entire process. And if you don't believe me and you think I'm just blowing smoke up your rear, we can clearly look at what's happening here as we spiral down. Look how much more elongated everything is becoming, right? Look how much flatter everything is becoming. That's your proof right there, right? So that's basically what this chart's telling you. This chart is just depicting energy between buyers and sellers. You can look at it any way you want, but at the end of the day, it's just the energy in the marketplace between buyers and sellers. Of course, at the price they agree on. But if energy starts to flatten out, what does that mean? Well, then your momentum's flattening out. Everything's starting to flatten out, meaning we're moving to another point of indecision, to consolidation. Price has to consolidate. Price has to retrace to build energy to prep for the next move. And if we do move to a horizontal axis, it's basically a 50-50 probability on which way the move is going to go. However, if we're doing that on an increased slope, then I think we could say that we are going to go up, okay? But we'll have to see what that looks like at that time and point, okay? I am not a fortune teller, and I'm not going to predict all the things in the future here, right? I do these videos on a daily basis. We talk about it. Yes, some of them are kind of redundant. That's just the nature of this beast. But as of right now, we have the small points to look at. You got 6,900, and then you got 9,000. 177 is the thick red line, and above that's 9,990. So if we stay contained within those numbers, then there's no higher numbers and there are no lower numbers until one of those gets broken. Everything beyond those points, beyond 6,900 or roughly 6,900 and above 9,990, is just pure fantasy and wishful thinking. Okay, so we have to break these key areas to move this market either downward for continuation into a bear market, or upward above 9,990 for continuation into a bull market. So one thing that I just thought about, I talked about this in some of my earlier videos, was that when price makes like a rounded bottom, right? It's a continuation pattern or it's a reversal pattern. So we have to keep that in mind, because you can clearly kind of see that forming right here. Now everyone's like, oh, it's a gigantic cup and handle. Yeah, this handle is getting gigantically long. Like, what are we putting in here? Like, come on. It could be possible. Don't get me wrong. That pattern can play out. A lot of patterns play out because it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because everyone's looking at it. The entire pattern community is looking at it, and that's exactly what you have here. But understand, regardless of the handle, right? Regardless, it's nice if the cup and handle comes from a continuation, meaning that we came out of like a positive market instead of a diverging like downward market. So I don't mean to color all over it, but what we have here, again, it's just a rounded bottom, right? Let's just forget about the handle right now. Focus on the rounded bottom, right? That can mean a continuation or a reversal. So we have some positive things working for the market. We just have to see if we're able to settle and stay above these key zones, okay? And if we do, it's going to be good for the market. But that's it for today. I thank everybody for their support. If you do like the video, please like, subscribe, follow. You can also join my free Slack channel over at geometriccharts.com. At the bottom of the website, I do have a link to that Slack channel, and there's over like 340 members now in there. It's just a really nice community to be a part of. People all over the world, and they share their own opinions, analysis, and charts. So again, I thank everybody, and I'll talk to everybody tomorrow.